Welcome to another episode of Sports and Songs Podcast. We're your hosts, Dan and Andy. Today is February 7th, 2022. Andy, we're in season 3, episode number 13. How are you?
I'm doing good. How about you?
Good. We had a big Pro Bowl yesterday, Super Bowl next week. I don't know if as far as the show, what we're going to cover.
I didn't do the Pro Bowl. I was watching the Clash at the Coliseum, the NASCAR race yesterday.
Yes, and we want to touch on that as well. I did turn that on to see what that looked like. And did they have a halt halfway through, like an intermission, and have a musical?
They had multiple halts on it.
They did.
They have qualifyings, and this is just Trailer Park Andy talking right now. Redneck. NASCAR is trying to embrace everybody. They're in California, so it's a whole California thing.
Okay.
They had like 8 grand marshals for it. Matt Leinart, Reggie Bush, this athlete, that athlete, anyone from LA was on there, right? Which fine and good. I get it. You're trying to promote the sport. At one of their intermissions, the concert was what's his name? Some rapper. I can't even remember his name now. That's how.
That's what I was thinking of. I think the only ad
starts with a P. Pitbull. Pitbull was one of the intermission performers. Then Ice Cube was another one at the end. And I'm sitting at home and I'm watching it, and they got Ice Cube sitting at the desk with Chris Myers and Clint Boyer and Tony Stewart, and they're all like, "Oh, hi, Ice Cube, come here. Oh, we're so excited you're performing." B as in B, S as in S.
Yes.
You couldn't name one Ice Cube. You probably get him mixed up with Ice T, which is fine, which is great. I think NASCAR and who's going to be singing the national anthem or halftime, Ice Cube's not on my first book of people I'm writing down names for. You know, and that's not a rip on it. I'm just saying. Yes, you want to get everybody in, but if you're going to have Pitbull and Ice Cube, maybe have Pitbull and then somebody else. Hit 2 different genres and make everybody happy.
Yeah.
Because I got a Pitbull and Ice, and I like Ice Cube, don't get me wrong, but there's a time and a place for everything. And when I'm in the NASCAR frame of mind, Ice Cube's not one of the guys I want to listen to.
Yeah, and they are trying to expand. I do like doing the track there at the Coliseum. How did that work out?
I thought it was okay, all things considered. Now, they were like 4 or 5 feet off the ground. It wasn't right directly on the grass. They had a lot of gravel under there and the tar and the asphalt and everything else. And as of this morning, they started tearing it apart already.
How long does that take?
I know it took 3 months to build it. They'll probably have it done, torn out within a week.
Wow. And,
you look at it this way. How many times here, like at the Metrodome or at U.S. Bank, they're hauling all that dirt for a tractor pull or for the monster trucks? So kind of the same idea. But I thought it went pretty good. They had to park out on the street and come in through the tunnel, so that was kind of cool. There was no pits. You couldn't pit. But because they have it in shorter segments, 15 laps, 30. So not enough time you need gas and tires anyway.
So it's a moot. They make it a moot point because of the circumstance.
Yes.
During the intermission, the song, the musical guest, they can go get everything ready.
And the normal Clash when it's at Daytona is the same thing. 15 laps, 30 laps. So there's no pit break or pit stops during it. I thought it went okay. There was some banging up at the end, which is short track racing. So I had no beef with it. A lot of the guys were okay with it. They were all cool with it.
What was the attendance?
They had a good draw. I didn't hear a number, but they had a lot of it blocked off because you get too close down, you're not going to hear a thing. Yeah. Because of sound, they had to have it blocked off. And unlike the AFC championship game last week, where you couldn't hear because of the halftime music, during the trials, they were concerned because up when their broadcast booth was, they couldn't hear. But then again, that was an empty stadium when cars were going around too. So other people in there kind of helped suck up some of that noise.
Absorb, yeah.
Yeah, so you could hear the announcers pretty good. Tony Stewart is his first time announcing. He's new to the broadcast team this year. Elephant in the room, him and Clint Boyer didn't really get along a lot as race buddies, and here they're broadcasting together. They had their bits, and that was done. They're professionals, so life goes on there. But I liked it. Do I want to see him go to a different Coliseum every year? No. Kind of takes the fun out of it then.
Yeah. So
Will they go back
possibly,
to California
it
next
could be
year?
possibly a recurring event at that location.
I don't know. 'Cause I don't have the money to build all that up and everything else. How they do that? If they'll find another track in California and do that all the time, I don't know. But NASCAR, I don't know what the dollars for it were, but they are back at Daytona in 2 weeks on the 20th
Okay,
to make it all happen for real.
the real deal.
That's
All right. Before we get going, should I do the trivia question?
Yeah. Did you have any Pro Bowl news you want to say? Did you watch the game at all?
The Pro Bowl was high scoring. It was good. I watched a little of it. It's more of a flag football event.
Right.
They're having some fun. There's a lot of laughs. It is what it is. But I thought it was interesting that it was held in Las Vegas. At the same time, the NHL was having their All-Star weekend there in Las Vegas.
Right.
And so I don't know if that was planned or whatnot, but that will be the site of the Super Bowl next year, right? Allegiance.
Yeah, and did they do that the Pro Bowl last year? Wasn't it in Tampa? And then the Super Bowl was in Tampa afterwards? They've gotten away from Hawaii now.
Okay. I'm not sure, but it was the first year in Vegas to have the Pro Bowl there. And it is what it is. I do have my trivia question ties back to that because I found an interesting nugget. This was the first Pro Bowl that included a player that was born in the 2000s.
Uh-oh.
That make us feel old, Andy, but there was a player on the roster born in the 2000s. It's the first time that happened in an NFL All-Star game like this. The question is, who was that player? We'll come back to it later on in the episode, but who was it? Can you name the player? Young person. But boy, when you think of it that way, this was born in the 2000s and playing in a Pro Bowl game.
Good for him, though.
Very good. We'll come back to the answer later, but I thought it was an interesting thing when I first heard that discussed. So, all right, go ahead with your high school. I'm interested to
Here we go. We'll start the high school girls hockey.
Thank you.
I'm just going to give the standings as of right now. Starting tonight, sectional playoffs start already. But they don't Minnesota State High School League didn't have every section's bracket out yet. So I'll have those. Once they get those available probably tomorrow or later tonight, I'll put those on the Facebook page and do something special on that during the week. But here's not the final standings because these were as of the 2nd, but Class 2A, Andover, Edina, Tonka, top 3, Holy Family, Maple Grove, Lakeville South, Benilde, St. Margaret, Rogers, Wayzata, Hill Murray are your top 10. 1A, War Road, Orono, Proctor, Hermantown are your top 3. Academy of Holy Angels, Shimley, and Mount West Tonka. Then Fergus, Cloquet, Duluth, Marshall, and South St. Paul round off your top 10. Should be very exciting coming up. As I said, the girls' state tournament is the 23rd through 26th. Sections are going on now. If you went to Minnesota State High School League's site, you can get all the brackets and games and exciting stuff there. Or like I said, wait till tomorrow. I should have it all on Facebook, have the first round matches in. Because some sections have odd number of teams, have 9, so they have like a play-in game going this weekend. Some have one section has 4 teams in it, so they don't play until next week. Some have like 7, so the number 1 seed got a first round bye. So follow your favorite team there. Speaking of state tournaments, the 18th and 19th, Dance, Jazz, and Dance High Kick take place. They just had their sections last weekend, so you can follow your teams there, check your high schools, and information on the state league page for that. Boys hockey, which is like a couple 3 weeks after girls, so they still got some season to go. So here we go with standings. Cretin Durham Hall takes over at number 1. Hill Murray 2, Benilde moves up to 3. Andover drops from 1 to 4. For those of you new to hockey and standings, for the drop from 1 to 4, you probably lost. So just breaking that out for you there. 1A, Hermantown, War Road, Monmouth, Delano moves up from 7 to 4. So there we go. Minneapolis drops. Fergus, Alec, Little Falls, DL, and Duluth Denfeld are your top 10. Little all elite wrestling news here. Pro wrestling stuff. We'll get into a few different topics here. Tony Khan mentioned this week that Wednesday, he's got a big announcement, big new signing. Been following all the wrestlers, wrestlers for those of you down south, that were released by WWE a while ago. Who hit that 90-day no compete clause? Who could be the big bombshell for Wednesday? Experts have gotten together. They've called me and confirmed. I'm guessing it's going to be Keith Lee coming in on Wednesday. The only reason I say no is it's a ladder match, but you know what? Keith Lee's a big boy. He can do what he wants. We'll see how that works. Could be him. Some say Jeff Hardy, but he's still got no compete for a while. We'll see what's going on. Keith Lee may not be in the ladder match, but look for him to show up soon to AEW. Impact Wrestling. Their women's champion, Mickie James, was in the WWE Royal Rumble. They're kind of breaking that forbidden door, they say. Because of WWE's standards and words you can't say on TV, they don't use the word world champion or wrestling in any of their stuff. So instead of being the Impact Wrestling Women's World Champion, which is what her title is on Impact Wrestling, when she came out, it said Impact Women's Champion. To tell you the truth, when I first saw it, I didn't notice the difference. I just thought they shortened it to make it fit on there. Then after other things, I'm going, hey, wait a minute. They don't allow the word wrestling and world title or world champion in WWE. How are they going to do this? Well, they snuck it by me. I didn't catch it the first time, so props to them on that. Also, WWE news. Shane McMahon, Vince's son, has been let go by the company. He no longer is an active performer. He's no longer a backstage talent. I don't even know if he's in Daddy's will anymore after what happened, but he's still a shareholder. He still has stock, I'm assuming. Also, other phone calls have been made going to other wrestling places. Don't hire Shane. He's a cancer. You don't want him. Yeah, he'd put butts in seats and eyes on TVs, but if he still has stock in the other company, could you trust him working for you without sabotaging you, you know? So keep your ears on that, what's going to happen with Shane. Other scuttlebutt coming out is Freddie Prinze Jr., who worked behind the scenes at WWE, was let go a while ago. Him and Shane might get together and start their own wrestling company. So Shane could sell all of his stocks back to Daddy, cash out, and start a new company. So we'll see there. Baseball stuff. Still on lockout. Next week, they're supposed to start spring training. That's not going to happen. A lot of the owners are saying they're okay with no training camp, no spring training. They're digging their heels in. Both sides are digging their heels in. Depending on who you read or watch, what topic they're up on is different. Basically, it comes down to money. But on the good part, minor league baseball has announced that the AAA teams will expand their schedule 6 more games from 144 to 152 or 150 in 2022. So it's another week of games, which is great because that might be the only baseball we get this year. Get some Mets news in here for y'all. Here's 3 free agents the Mets are looking at. Clayton Kershaw, Chris Bryant, and Kyle Schwarber. Kershaw's the only one I'd want out of the 3 for me personally. Chris Bryant's great. Don't get me wrong. But you got a lot of guys. Yeah, he can play third in outfield, maybe first. Wonderful. He's only going to be there for a couple of years. You only got so much money. You got a lot of guys in the minors are doing really good right now you can call up. Kyle Schwarber, I am not a fan of, never have been a fan of. Even this picture of him in a Mets uniform makes me ill. So wearing Strawberry's number like that, that's sick. Blasphemy. So no to those 2. Kershaw I'd be okay with. It'd have to be like a 2-3 year deal. So you put him and Maxie Scherzer and Jacob up there for your top 3. Kershaw's your 3. So just remember that. So that'd be a nice setup. Max Scherzer had some stuff to say about the lockout off his Twitter. We don't need mediation because what we are offering to Major League Baseball is fair to both sides. What happened is one side said let's get a mediator. The other one said no. The players don't want a mediator. Why not? That just shows you want to get this done and go on. That's part of mediation, or in a lockout like this, you're not going to get everything you're asking for. Someone's going to have to give a little. Schwarzer continues in another tweet. We want the system where there's penalties don't function as caps. Allows younger players to realize more than their market value, makes service time more manipulable, a thing of the past, and eliminates tanking as a winning strategy. I agree with him on the tanking part. Tanking's hard to prove in baseball. One thing I can see where he's coming from, and I'm just throwing two teams out as examples. Say it's the Twins and White Sox. And the Twins have to play Kansas City, who's in third place, and the White Sox are playing the they used to be the Indians, now the Gladiators, whatever they're called. Guardians. Say the Guardians are doing terrible, so they don't care anymore. Wait, that's 3 easy wins for the White Sox, and the Twins are busting up against the Royals. So I can see his point on that. It's just
lost you there for a moment.
so far.
Go ahead.
Here's a list. Pat Benatar, Devo, Duran Duran, Eurythmics, Judas Priest, New York Dolls, Dolly Parton, Rage Against the Machine, Lionel Richie, Dionne Warwick. No, those are not people celebrating their 10-year anniversary in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. They're people who are up for induction. They're not in yet. Their name's just up. I know we had a big bit on it last year on the show with some of these names coming up. Why some of these people aren't in, I will never know. I don't get it. I can't understand how. And the Country Music Hall of Fame is no better. Any other music or entertainment situation like this where it's all fan voting, you're asking for issues right there. If you want to go to vote.rockhall.com to vote for Priest or Lionel Richie or whoever you want to vote for, go right ahead. I know a lot of bands like Kiss, when they finally went in, but they didn't perform. They had a tough time getting the 4 of them together to even be on the same stage. If you watch that introduction of them in the Hall of Fame, it was probably the most uncomfortable 5-10 minutes I've seen in my life on TV. So I don't know how a lot of these guys will handle if they get in finally. Dolly Parton's a sweetheart. She'll show up. Lionel Richie will show up. Did New York Dolls show up? Priest might show up, but they're on tour right now. They're still out there jamming out. Pat Benatar, I could see her showing up and not performing. So we'll see how it goes. But pretty sad, a lot of these names coming up that should be in already and they're not. Kind of a little mini soapbox here. This week in Minnesota, the U.S. men's team played Honduras at Allianz Field, where it was 2 degrees that day. Soccer in 2-degree weather in January in Minnesota. Honduras was one of the teams. But they kept saying here, but the field's heated. The field's at 55 degrees. Great, my feet will be warm. My shoulders are up here in the air where it's 2 degrees. The part that blows me away, they still darn near sold the place out. 19,000 to see that game. If we could draw 19,000 in 2-degree weather to watch soccer outside, why is this sport not getting better TV time? Why are the news people not covering it better for stuff? I don't understand. Why are we not going, hey, instead of at Allianz Field, put it in U.S. Bank, we can get a few more people in there. It's warmer, but so I like soccer, don't get me wrong. I just can't ever figure out how they could draw that many people in 2-degree weather. You want to talk about great diehard fans. Hats off to soccer fans. Mm-hmm. Last week, the Winger George Lynch concert was canceled at Medina, and it's rescheduled for March 4th. I understand someone in Winger was either sick or something came up. Can't be anything major because, as you can see, they're back a month later. They are honoring all tickets from the Saturday, February 5th show. I suppose you can still call and get other tickets if you want. Medina at medinaentertainment.com, or you can call them at 763-478-6661. Again, that show is rescheduled for March 4th, a Friday night. Continue with stuff at Medina on the 12th, Firehouse and Suite, 7 p.m. General admission, tickets $34. So if you think that's okay, $34 for Firehouse and Suite, there's the links. Call Medina, get it done. The Hams Beer Show, Saturday 19th. Ice cold Hams beer for sale there. That's all I got to say. If that ain't worth going, I don't know what is.
I will be going. Are you going, Andy?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. It's a date.
It'll be awesome. This is good stuff.
All right. Here we go. Super Bowl. The Bengals and the Rams coming up. I'll give you my pick first, how I'm going. I'll give you a little history lesson for everybody, too. Oops. Super Bowl 5 was the Baltimore Colts and the Dallas Cowboys. Baltimore won the game, but the MVP was Chuck Howley, linebacker from the Cowboys. So losing member got MVP. The same thing's going to happen this week. Aaron Donald gets MVP, but the Cincinnati Bengals will win the game 20-16. Yeah, that's what I got. That's me right there.
That's
bold is the word we use.
That is good stuff. Now my pick, Andy, I do agree with Aaron Donald. He's a force on defense.
Yep.
Now, the Rams are playing at home, a home game.
4.5-point favorite as of today.
I do have to think that we got the Rams 29-14 winners over the Bengals on Sunday.
Now,
that's the pick.
The last time there was a 4.5-point spread where a team was getting no level like this, the Philadelphia Eagles beat the New England Patriots.
Wow.
So there.
Yeah, I do. I'm a firm believer in Super Bowl. Anything goes. You could be riding a big wave. You could have the momentum. The stats
Patriots
are out the window on the Super Bowl. The sabermetrics are out the window.
The Patriots are 19-0 and lost to the Giants.
I could see the Bengals winning this by a couple of touchdowns, conceivably. I mean, who knows what's going to happen?
Yeah, really, no matter what happens, I'm not going to be surprised, to tell you the truth.
Burrow is going to be good there in Cincinnati. Boy, if they win the Super Bowl, the fans in Cincy are going to go off the hook, and Burrow is going to be the second coming of Christ over there in Cincinnati.
Oh, yes.
He already is for the most part, but I think that's when Cleveland drafted Baker Mayfield, this is kind of what they were thinking was going to happen.
Right.
Nothing really panned out. And I get Matthew Stafford, longtime Detroit Lion, in a trade. First year in the Rams, he could take them to the promised land.
Right.
Jared Goff sitting at home, in the Detroit, watching the game on television. But
right.
The receivers there, I think, are going to be good. It's
Cooper Kupp and then Chase for the Bengals. That's wow.
Lamar Chase, LSU connection.
A lot of LSU guys in that Cincinnati team.
It'll be a fun game to watch. I'm looking forward to it. It was nice to see the Chiefs guys in the Pro Bowl game because they weren't playing in the Super Bowl. So Mahomes was there, and
that's the thing. They stopped the Chiefs on that last touchdown before half. Cincinnati did, and the Chiefs someone spit on them. They didn't know what to do. They got a little chink in their armor, and they were just done that second half.
Yeah.
Cincinnati didn't come out and blow them away. Cincinnati just came out and chipped away at it. Just slowly got to them. Mahomes, like I said before last week, looked like that last drive in the game was getting cocky like I do when I play Madden. I drop back 25 yards for the pass near the goal line. He did, but there was no one there.
Everyone was covered. It was bizarre to watch, but
he's human. My God, he's human. But yeah, so that's that. No word getting back to concerts. No word on Kid Rock canceling yet. I think he's probably wait as late as possible. The way so many states and towns are changing their mask mandates on the fly. So you might wait on that, but still kind of like with this Medina one, you buy any ticket. Medina's was because guy got sick, so that's one thing, but still, always check your refund policies and everything else. Please, please, please.
Now I got two sports notes here before we wrap up the trivia question.
Yeah.
One is for those of you following amateur town ball baseball, this time of season, this time of the year, if you follow Twitter, there's a lot of activity. The schedules are in place. The schedules for many teams are already done. They're already published, and there's posters being made of the upcoming season. Some teams are going through the issues of wrapping up the final part of their scheduling, filling a few dates here and there. But most of the town ball teams are set to go, and they're locked in with their schedules already. A lot of these tournaments, weekend tournaments, are set in stone already now too. So that's coming up big. It's not in the news or anything, but follow Twitter. Lots of good stuff coming out there. Now, hockey, women's college hockey, the Lady Gophers, the new
Yes.
came out. They're the number one team in the nation right now. Number one. And the last thing I've got, Andy, is we got USFL coming up.
Yes.
They're going to be doing their kind of draft selection.
There was a lot of commercials for that during NASCAR this weekend.
There was, okay.
Yes.
And so what they do is, it's not the XFL. This is the USFL. XFL is taking another year off. They'll come back in 2023. But the USFL has got the 8 teams set. The management, the staff, I think, is set. There's no players. They pick from a pool of players, basically a draft, almost like a fantasy draft.
Yep.
And then they'll start play in, I believe it's April.
Yep.
So April, May, and June, 3 months, USFL football. We'll be covering that here on the show as well. So what we might do, Andy, I haven't announced this yet, we might do it here live, is get a fantasy football team going, a league.
Yeah.
Listeners here at Sports and Songs.
Yes.
Maybe get 8-10 teams in a league and play for fun. It's USFL. I'm sure there'll be a fantasy football website out there somewhere.
Yeah, you can find it somewhere on Yahoo or CBS Sports or something.
But we could get something like that going during the April, May, and June months. Now, if there's no baseball, this football thing could take off. But like you said earlier, AAA Minor League Baseball
expanded their season.
Expanded, and 150 games there. That may be what we could use to take up some of our time until the lockout ends.
Now, going back to what you said about town ball stuff, a lot of town ball teams do follow us on the Twitter. We appreciate that. Every time we see your stuff, we're resending it out there. So you can find us Sports and Songs 1 on Twitter. Town ball teams, give us a follow. We'll follow back. We will push your team stuff. We'll share it. We'll mention it here on the show. Get your schedules out, your names out, and your nominations for the all-hair team.
Yeah, we're going to need the nominations for the all-hair team here in the spring. All flow preseason picks for 2022. Long flowing locks is what we're looking for.
Yes. With the subcategory for being bald and a good beard is another category.
Ball players with a great beard. Special mention.
This congeniality.
We'll work that out. It should be pretty fun, but I'm going to get into the trivia question, the trivia answer.
Yes.
Let's get back to the trivia question here. The trivia was the 2022 NFL Pro Bowl game that just happened yesterday in Las Vegas featured its first ever player on the roster that was born in the 2000s. Very rare. It kind of makes us all feel old. But can you name that player? Andy, do you have?
I was trying to think. The linemen usually I'll go 4 years, so I'd make them too old. I'm trying to think of Chase was there. I'm going blank. Was it a running back probably? Because they're the ones who go early.
It is a specialty guy, not a running back, but skill position.
Don't know.
The answer is Falcons tight end Kyle Pitts.
Oh, wow.
Kyle Pitts was born October 6th, 2000. He was in the Pro Bowl game for the first time and has the ominous record of being the first person born in the 2000s to be on the roster for the NFL Pro Bowl.
Yeah, I guarantee the kicker was pushing 40 probably.
Yes.
My old look to be his dad.
We got an album review.
Yes. What you got for that, sir?
The album review for this week, I'll get it up here, is it's a Great White album called Once Bitten.
Jack Russell's Great White?
Jack Russell, yes. Once Bitten is the third studio album released by the American glam metal band Great White, was released in 1987 and became a commercial success, selling more than 1 million copies and being certified platinum. The anthem Rock Me became a hit single. And one of Great White's best known songs, Save Your Love, also charted. That became their most famous power ballad. And then the song Lady Red Light and All Over Now would become fan favorites and are included in the 15 tracks on their absolute hits, greatest hits, came out later on. Great White's been around for a long time. I think they got together and started perhaps in 1977. It's an older band.
Yeah.
But Great White's made up of Jack Russell, longtime lead and backing vocals guy. He's not there now. They had a couple other singers here from 2018, I believe, but he was a longtime lead singer. Mark Kendall, lead guitarist. Mark Kendall kind of runs the show there for Great White. They've got rhythm guitarist Michael Lardy, also keyboards and harmonica. Audie Desbro on drums, and bass, Lorne Black. Lorne Black. This album, Once Bitten, was the last time Lorne Black appeared on an album. Great White. The cover model here is Tracy Martinson. This was released June 17th, 1987. 46 minutes, 32 seconds on Capitol Records. It's considered glam metal, blues rock, and hard rock. Here's a track listing. Song 1, Lady Red Light. I'm Gonna Get You, Song 2. Rock, Song 3. All Over Now, Song 4. Song 5 is Mistreater. Song 6, Never Change Heart. Song 7, Fast Road. And 8, On the Edge. And song 9, the power ballad, Save Your Love. All the ladies always liked that song. Not a fan. I'm not a fan of that song, Save Your Love, but they really hit it big there with this. Went platinum. They've got albums out, Andy, up through the 90s, the 2000s, and there's still one of these bands that they'll play at their local casinos,
Yep.
Medina Ballroom, places like that, small
Music festivals, yeah.
Any big shows at all. But this was the back there in '87 when this was released. It went platinum, and that's when music was really big. Everything was coming out in '87. Considered glam, was recorded in Redondo Beach, California. But I liked it. I liked the album. I listened to it a bunch back then. Not much now, but in doing the homework, Andy, for doing this album, found out that their discography, it's a pretty lengthy albums that they've got. They've got a pretty big catalog.
Right. I'm
going to do my best to listen to some of these newer things that have passed me by. Are you a big fan of Great White?
I was, if they were on the radio, I'd listen to them. I wouldn't flip their station off they came on. But if this said, hey, come on, the next half hour is Great White, I didn't stick around for a half hour to hear it either.
Yeah.
If they're on, I understood. If not, great. If I got on my Spotify shuffle, they play, great. Rock Me is probably my favorite song of theirs.
Yeah.
I like that one a lot. That's a good driving song. As you're driving along, you gotta watch your speedometer in that one. That's their power ballads. They're just one of those bands you couldn't pull off the ballads, I don't think.
Yeah.
Some guys can, some can't. It was just no. Cure for Insomnia.
Now their follow-up album after this, Once Bitten, was called Twice Shy, and that's this album that has the song Once Bitten, Twice Shy on it. That was probably one of their bigger hits. That's a cover song. I think it's Mott the Hoople, maybe. Ian Hamilton, I think, did that song. That's a cover song, actually. But Great White, known for a lot of their album covers with Fish, Seeds, pretty good, thing like that. It's your typical genre.
Yeah, and the Once Bitten, Twice Shy video had a lot of Hugh Hefner's employees on it.
Yes.
We'll just say that we won't plug any magazines. We'll say so. Hugh's employees were on there, and didn't help me with the video. I thought the song was okay. I liked it the first time it came out. So that didn't really blow me away, their version. Oh, you know.
But Mark Kendall's the guy there at Great White. Long time.
Yeah. So watch me see him on tour. It'd be Jack Russell's Great White sometimes means it's just him.
Yes, there is in this later
Because
years.
he got rights to the song, so he could say that.
Breakoffs.
Kind of like with Sebastian Bach, you see him on tour. They'll say Skid Row, Sebastian Bach, Cinderella's Tom Kiefer, stuff like that. It's the same deal.
Yeah, don't get me wrong; these guys would be great to see in concert.
Oh yeah, I wouldn't mind seeing them in concert. Yeah, they put on a decent show for what I hear.
But as far as buying the albums, I think I purchased one in my entire life of Great White. But I'm gonna dig deep this week, Andy, and start listening to some of these older tunes.
Yes,
that's all I've got for today.
That's your homework for the week.
Album review. We got the Super Bowl coming up Sunday. We got USFL in a couple weeks. State, high school state dance, the high kick, the jazz.
That's 8th and 19th. Yep, that's next week. Yep. Now, one thing we're working on. It's going to be here.
We'll be in March Madness here before we know it, Andy. Anything else?
Yeah, the little teaser here for you coming up. Working on setting it up live during Super Bowl weekend. Intern Abby and myself will be live watching the Puppy Bowl and the Kitty Halftime Show.
You know, I thought about doing something with the Puppy Bowl, you know, as a joke, Andy, but now you're going to pull it off.
Yes. Intern Abby and I will be watching the game. You'll see our live reaction during it. Now, as you know, the Puppy Bowl is played repeatedly throughout the day. So I'm not going to give a time yet. When it gets later, closer to the weekend, we will. As of right now, we'll do it about an hour after I get up. That's
what they do, and is they announce, I think, the 30 puppies, right? The name.
They are the list is out there. If you look at,
and there are some betting sites, I believe, and some fantasy sites that you pick who you think you're going to win, and then you can root for the puppy of choice there.
Now, just to let you know what the Puppy Bowl is, Hallmark Channel has it on usually. It's run by Beth Stern, Howard Stern's wife. It's basically a big push for pet adoption.
Yes, that's what it really.
Pet things. It's a pet adoption thing. Yes, it's cute to watch the doggies and kitties run around, but it's to promote pet adoption. That's the whole 9 yards of it. Sometimes different celebrities will pop in there to make cameos. It's if you've ever watched any dog or cat YouTube, TikTok, Facebook page, you'd love the Puppy Bowl and Kitty Halftime Show. That's what it is. It's just an hour of it instead. The commentators have a good time with it. I just like this year, if they don't rename the MVP award the Betty White Memorial Award, something's wrong. That's just me.
Oh, yes.
But I don't know when this was recorded, though, either. They might have recorded it a month ago, too, for all I know. But
well, good luck with the show. Wish you all the best. It should be fun. I'm going to be
watch Twitter and Facebook to see Pops when it's going to be on.
What I do like, Andy, is pop it over to the Puppy Bowl during the halftime performance of the Super Bowl.
Yes. You know, a friend of mine, and I'm not going to rip on anybody here. I'm just going to state my name and my age here. A friend of mine says, "Oh, I'm so excited for the halftime show." And she's naming all these people on it. And I said, you know what? My age, you know what the halftime show is? Bathroom break. It's reload your food and get more beer. I could care less who's performing anymore. It's not my genre they're shooting for, which is great. Shoot for another group.
Yeah, it is what it is.
I was in my 40s. I love the halftime show. Now I don't. I love going to the bathroom and getting more food more important. So I always thought before other Super Bowl parties we go to, man, you're missing the halftime show. What are you doing? Oh, I got to get more food. Now I'm the guy going for more food. So I get it.
And the commercials. I enjoy the commercials during the game.
I will tell you one I've seen over the weekend. I saw it last year and this weekend too. If you could look up Walter the Cat for Chevy Silverado, watch those commercials. They did one last year, one this year.
Oh,
Walter the Cat, Betty Lou, and Shadow's Hero.
All right, we'll be on the lookout for that.
Yes.
All right, sounds good. Look for our midweek shows as well. Andy does his page 2. I do my midweek as bonus episodes as well. So those are out there on Spotify, YouTube, and Anchor.
Instagram, all that fun stuff.
All right, have a good week, everyone.
See ya.